Hey guys, welcome back to my Rugged Earth YouTube channel. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how I do my 3-split shanks. Right off the bat, I'm going to be using 8-gauge half-round wire. You can use numerous different types of wire, but this is what I commonly use for split shanks. I'm going to go ahead and flatten out the wire a bit prior to measuring so I can get a more accurate marking. Since I am making a 3-split shank, I'll be cutting 3 separate pieces of wire. The same process will apply to 2 and 4 split bands as well. As always, I'm using my Burlife lubricant from Rio Grande. I love this stuff. I've had it for over 2 years and there's still plenty left. Next up, I'll be cutting the wire, and then here comes the tedious part. Hammering these can be tricky because you have to have a strong and flush solder joint. Now that these are pretty flat, I'm going to go ahead and stamp the middle section of the shank. I love to add texture and dimension to my pieces, and I truly don't think you can overstamp a piece. So again, I'm just going to be flattening out this wire with my 2-ounce rawhide mallet from Rio Grande so I can properly align the wire for soldering. I use a vermiculite block for soldering because it's easiest to see my metal. I previously used a charcoal block, but unfortunately it was very messy and the powder would stick to my metal. As for prepping my metal, I've been using this handy flux from Rio Grande, and for solder, I use 22-gauge hard. I find 22 gauges easier to use since it doesn't leave as much excess solder. I can do a future video on soldering, but for now I'm just going to be setting my piece up like I normally would. If you want to apply anti-flux to the ends of the shank, you can, but you're going to end up sawing through this either way. Next step, we're going to double check our measurements and then divide it into thirds and mark your metal so you can have a stopping point for when you saw. Try your best to saw in a straight line so you don't damage your metal too much. If you do, we'll be sanding it smooth later. Finally, it's time for the cool part. If you can, use pliers that are wrapped or plastic pliers so you don't scuff your metal up as much. Hold the shank with one hand while the other pulls in the opposite direction. Then fiddle around until you can get these somewhat even. Begin forming your metal around your mandrel like a standard ring. Then it'll be time to fine-tune the ends of the wire. This next step is really important. This is where your customer's finger slides through, so you need to make sure that you clean up the edges or this will not be a comfortable ring to wear. This orange bit is from Dremel, but you can use any grinding bit that you feel comfortable using. Now I'm switching to the Deco polishing wheel to remove those saw marks inside of the shank as well as the excess solder on top. We're coming up on the most important step. If this step is done incorrectly, you'll have to end up hammering and refiling this whole piece again. I'm going to be filing straight across with a metal file to get these 6 points flat. If you need to use a sanding stick or sandpaper, feel free to do so. Next, find a flat surface to lay your ring shank and make sure that all 6 sides touch. Now that your solder joint will be flush, you can go ahead and solder this to your new ring. Thank you all so much for watching this tutorial. I hope you learned something new. Please be sure to like and subscribe, and if you have any suggestions for future videos, feel free to comment them down below.